So now let's see the layers. The layers are a key concept of Gimp. It's somehow if you had different layers of transparent pictures on top of the other that you can manipulate independently and that you can use to add many things on your picture. And you can use different pictures on top of the other. You can use brushes, you can transform certain pictures, you can apply effects. We'll see that now. So in the interface that I've set up, the layers are here on the bottom right, and you can see that there is still this the picture of my landscape. Okay, so now I'm moving a bit into it, and now what I want to do is to add the picture of this woman, of this person. And to do so, we will use a new tool that we'll discover, which is called the Fuzzy Select tool. What this tool does is pretty simple. It selects the colors which are similar, so that you can use them to take some part of a picture and put it in somewhere in another part, or that you can use to delete some part of the picture. In this case, I will click on the gray area of this screen, and here you can see that I have this almost the whole picture is selected. I mean, the whole gray area is selected, and you can see here in the selection editor what has been selected, and you can see that some parts have not been selected. It's not that important in this case because it's almost gray, and it's only for learning purposes. But we can, if we were to go deeper into this, we will also use some kind of more precise tools and to change this. But one way to change what you want to select is to use the threshold, which is here. If I make it bigger, it will select, as you can see, more color which are a bit different. And in this case, I have somehow selected the more gray parts of this background, but some part here are not selected. To do so, I just press the Shift key, and there is a plus that is added here on the cursor, and now I can add somehow the rest of the colors that were selected. And in this case, we have a complete background which is selected. And as you can see in the selection editor, there is in white what we have selected, and in black what is not selected. What we want to do is to change this, invert it. So I press this invert the selection button, and voila, we have this here. And now the woman is selected, the part in white. So now let's copy paste this picture, this selection, into the other picture. So I go to Edit, Copy, and this, by the way, can be done with the regular shortcuts on your keyboard, like Control or Command, CV, etc. Right? And so now I go back to my previous picture, and I will go to Edit and Paste. Boom, we have the picture here. What I want to do now is to really validate that this selection will be used as a layer. So in this case, we can see that we have a floating selection. It's a pasted layer. So now I press the plus button here, which is in green, sorry, and now we have a pasted layer with this picture. Obviously, we don't want to keep this image in the middle, in the center of this background. So what we will do is that we will move this picture thanks to a tool called Move Tool. Just press M on your keyboard as well. I just wanted to show something. If I move this part, the image of this picture will move on this old project, and we can see here that the layer is on top of the other. We can do some manipulations with this. So if I click on this small eye icon, the woman disappears, and if I click on this one, it's the background that disappears. And we can also do some manipulations with the names. So in this case, I want to change the first image and the first layer and call it landscape. I just double clicked on it and changed it. But I can also double click on this one in the not on the name but somewhere in the area, and we have the name of the and many settings for this or attributes, layer attributes that we can change in this box. So in this case I will call it woman. Okay, I can give it a color if I want to. It's better if you want to see it in a more visual way. That's very interesting if you have many layers. So yeah, I have validate this, and in this case we can see that the layer now is in purple. Okay, that's the color I've chosen. Let's change how the layer works. So that's great to have a this image, but we can do so much different things. For instance, I want to change its size, so let's go to the scale tool here. And here, in this case, I can change the size of this picture. Okay, make it bigger, smaller, whatever, and press scale. That's it. So now we have this picture. But let's say I want to do something even more funny. I can add some blur effect, and for that we will do some technique which is pretty interesting. I will use some blur effect on a certain layer and use something else on the other one. So let's press the right key of my mouse and now go to duplicate layer. And as you can see, we have twice the picture of the woman. All right. What I want to do is to apply some blur effect on the first layer of the woman, the one that is underneath. So I just go to, so I select this layer, this is very important. Then I go to filter and I go to blur, and let's choose Gaussian blur. The Gaussian blur is something that is pretty common, okay? And you can see here that the more I change the threshold, the more blurry the picture goes. I press OK, so we have this. Now we have to wait. Okay, that's great. Everything's done. And if I change the visibility of the first of the image on top of it, you can see only the picture of the woman on top. Now let's change the opacity of the first layer, which is here, opacity, so that you can change a bit of the way it looks like. So now we have a mix between the two layers. This is the first layer and this is the second underneath, and now the woman appears a bit blurry, but not too much. All right. And something even more funny is that we can use something called mode fusion modes. It's algorithms that help you change the way the both layers will interact with each other. It's algorithms, and it will change different aspects of the image. In this case, I'm changing the upper layer modes, and you can see it changes the way it looks like. This is very interesting for different effects that you want to apply, and as well for fun, if you want to, for instance, try to play with it and do something interesting. And this is as well something I've used here in this picture, so that I could change this kind of thing using different modes and get a very much different kind of picture rendered out. That's it for now.